BAZAAR.
All right. Firstly, thank you everyone for taking your time and joining us for this roundtable conversation. The idea of or the theme of today's roundtable is market potential of sustainable fashion. So at the Yan Bazaar, we've been trying to cover this space, which is the sustainable fashion. And we've recently released one roundtable. We'll be doing a couple more. And the idea is to explore different aspects of sustainable fashion industry. And today we would like to talk about the potential of it or the economics of this. So before we start, it'll be great if we can all share our 2 cents on an opening thought. My question to all of you is, how do you define sustainable fashion, and why do you think it is crucial in today's industry? Maybe we can start with Kirthish to begin with, and then Neha, and then Goyen.
Yeah. Hello. This is Kirthish Jain, and I started a company called LivBio. So for us, sustainability is about holding on to the resources which we have. So this is the first beginning to. So what resources, like the natural resources, then the life on earth, and the relationships which we have. So these are the pillars of sustainability for us. And my vision is basically to have a clean air, clean land, and clean water from from environment perspective. Then the second vision is to become voice for the voiceless. So because sustainability, we always talk from human perspective. We never talk about the other living beings who are living in the earth. So they don't have a voice. So we want to become, and because of our consumption habits of clothing, the chemical textiles, so the animals are suffering a lot. So this is one vision. We want to become their voice. And the third and the most important pillar of the sustainability, which we feel is, which very few companies talk about, is to reduce the overconsumption. So because it is contradicting again, overconsumption is the cause of all the problems. And this is the first issue which we should address. It's about mindful consumption, and how much ever you can, you have to limit your clothing. So this is my take on sustainability.
I think that's a great start to the roundtable.
Yeah.
Then,
Yeah.
Neha, what are your thoughts?
So yes, I completely agree with him. So I think sustainability is a huge umbrella. But to make it easier for everyone to understand, I think sustainability begins with being mindful of your choices. How much do I need to buy? What should I invest in terms of textiles? Whether this product that I'm buying, be it clothing, be it anything, is it going to last with me for a longer time? Am I going to use it multiple times? So that is the first key to it. And second is to taking care of what we already have. So it's about making it last longer. And also, we should also think about the impact that it takes on the environment. Where has it been made? Who is making it? And are the people involved in the process ethical? So this is sustainability to us.
Thank you, Neha, for sharing your thoughts. And over to Goyen now for his insights on this.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I mean, we have a great panel who have been working. At Textile Excellence, we basically, being in the media side, we always try to promote new ideas. And sustainability is one thing that we promote very highly. So for us, sustainability is not a product that we buy. It's a process that delivers, healthy future to the mankind. So this is how we look at it. So for us, it's obviously the environmental angle is the primary focus of this whole thing, because we all involved in the industry. But we also must recognize the social angle and economic aspect as well. So we want to do good for the society, yes, but it has to be economically viable and it should not harm the environment. So this is how we look at sustainability as a larger umbrella, as Neha has said. It is to do with environment, social angle, and economic angle for us.
Great, great. So I have a few specific questions for each one of you. But before we jump into that, I think it'd be great if we can all introduce ourselves one by one. The best way to do that would be if you can quickly talk about who you are and what do you do and what is the vision of the company that you're building. So maybe we can start with in the same order. So start with Kirthish first.
Yeah. So we are a social enterprise. LivBio is a social enterprise, and we focus on sustainability in daily life. In the three categories, which are the most polluted categories, which are food, clothing, and home. So what all products we use in the home, the clothing we wear, and the food which we eat, like plastic goods. So this is what we do. And can you repeat the question? Second question?
So about yourself as well. So who are you
Yeah.
and how did you get into this?
Yeah, so I've always been a social entrepreneur. This is my second company. My first company was Good Karma, and we used to. So it was in SME segment. We used to educate people about contributing a certain factor of their earnings into philanthropy. So in that we started with the concept. So every category which we sold used to contribute to certain social causes which we used to do. Like home category, we used to run old age home. So whatever profits we get, so 30% of our profits of the company, we had contributed to several causes in a span of 5 years. So this is just to encourage people uh, to SMEs, specifically micro SMEs, to give away a small portion, maybe 1% or 2% into the philanthropy, because corporate companies always have a CSR. But when it comes to small to medium enterprise, it was not there. So this is what our company was, Good Karma. And second, LivBio is also a social enterprise, but it's focusing on the larger picture of the environment, social and governance.
Okay.
So
So I think then it'll be good to say that you're someone who believes in running impact-based businesses.
yes, yes. Now we are also like, so education is one segment which we are targeting in this. So we have launched 60 courses. We have designed specifically 60 courses in these three categories. So because the whole point of sustainability is without, there is no awareness. First thing is there is no awareness. If you see like out of 140 crore population, we just have hardly 1% people know that what is organic, be it food or be it clothing. Only the urban pockets, two tier, three tier, they don't know. So that for that education is a crucial segment. So we have designed a range of courses for corporates, for institutions, for communities, and we are already conducting. And through that, we raise awareness.
Great. Thank you so much,
Thanks.
Kirtish. Neha, if you can introduce yourself and what you do.
Yes. My name is Neha Dewan. I am an urban artisan. I practice textile art, majorly natural dyeing and eco printing. My brand name is Advitiya by Neha Dewan, and we make contemporary modern outfits for men and women using these textiles.
Okay. And how did you get into this space?
So my brand is in existence since 2013. So as and when I grew as a brand, I also started understanding the impact that fashion industry has on the environment. And I will be very thankful. I want to thank my artisans from Ajrakpur, who actually made me fall in love with natural dyeing, made me understand the impacts, the positive impacts it has on the environment. And it is also a very the diverse field also. So very different from what the other textile art is. So that is that when I decided to take a break and learn it myself, make few things for myself and my loved ones. And then in 2021, I relaunched the brand completely with natural dyed products.
Sure. Thank you, Neha. And over to Goyen.
Yeah, thanks. I'm DJ Gohain and we run a publication called Textile Excellence. So we have started this company in 2003 with the aim to deliver knowledge and intelligence, I could say, rather than knowledge, where companies can act and make decisions, informed decisions. So this is the motto that we are still running. But at the same time, we having from technical background and technology background, we spend a lot of time doing product development things, new innovations on textiles, because that is the pressure almost all companies had. So we used to develop new products based on the customer's requirement. And then we also worked with a lot of new process and technologies to help the sustainable goals of the textile industry, because this is the one of the most polluting industry. If you look at, textile is the third largest polluting industry in the world. I mean, we generate around 1.2 billion tons of carbon dioxide, carbon load every year. So this is what we are doing now as a publisher, pushing the communication, sustainable fashion communication. That's what we are doing, and also working with some processes to improve the sustainable aspect of the textile raw material chain. Thank you.
Sure, I think textile excellence is fairly well known to the entire textile ecosystem. And apart from your core magazine, I think most people are also tuned into your weekly management updates, which is also great, gives us a quick snapshot of the weekly updates.
Correct.
Great. So we'll start with you, Neha. My first question to you is that, typically whenever we think about sustainable fashion, we all feel that, pricing will always be a challenge. It is always going to be fairly higher price compared to your commodities or non-sustainable fashion.
Right.
At your brand, you have a beautiful collection of, say, naturally dyed fashion. Right? But also what is great to note is that it's fairly reasonably priced. So what I want to understand and what would be great for you to share with everyone who would be listening to this roundtable is how do you manage that? And if aspiring entrepreneurs or fashion designers or brands can really understand how do you maintain a balance of sustainable and pricing, then of course we're not far away from a world where we can see a lot of the fashion products being made would be sustainable.
Right. So here, when we compare my products with the regular cotton clothing, then of course it might sound a little higher to the people. But when we compare it to the sustainable products, so again, like, sustainable is a huge umbrella. So it also depends on the fabrics that we use. So right now I'm using khadi and kala cotton, which is and my weavers are here in Gujarat. So the transportation cost is also low in this case. I try and stick to 2 to 3 natural dyes only and try to give variation in colors using color shifters. So that is also one of the reasons that I have that capped in terms of pricing. Also, I do all the dyeing and eco printing myself. So I do have people who help me in this, like my staff and all. But I am not outsourcing as of now anything for my brand to any artisan, to say. And also, I have an in-house tailor. So all of this, when it comes together, I am able to manage the cost as of now. And the vision of my brand is that it should be reachable to people who want to give it a try. If I talk about, people should wear, sustainable clothing, or they should wear handloom, then they should be given a chance to wear in terms of price also. Otherwise, they'll just appreciate it and they will think that it is out of my budget and never buy it. So maybe they can begin with wearing my brand and then try trusting me and the other brands. But yes, this is right now because the production is also a limited batch, and the inventory is also very low. We make products only once we receive the order. So these are the reasons why I'm able to keep my prices in check.
Okay, so basically the way you manage your production in the supply chain process is how you're able to control your cost.
Yes.
And I think what's great about Advita is what you just said, that most fashion brands or most, a lot of industries are ones where your inventory actually can make or break the business.
Yes.
If you're maintaining your, business model in such a fashion where you're actually starting the production process after receiving order, It allows you to be lean, not having the, concern of inventory sitting with you, and also the cash flow that it kind of blocks.
Right. In that ways, my customer should also understand once they are attached to my brand that this is what slow fashion is. The term slow fashion means that there is no rush in terms of making the order, catering the order, or demanding the order.
Right. Right. Great. Kirtish, my next question is for you. LivBio, we've heard that, it's into the space of roti kapda makan, all
Yeah,
basic essentials, and how, you're looking at it from a different lens. It's a fairly new brand in the market. So
yeah.
how has been your experience so far, and what is your vision, like, really for the long term?
See, now let's talk specifically about clothing, natural dyed clothing, because this is the product, physical product which we are selling it. So rest all are basically education courses. So I'll tell you in clothing. So first, we have been selling it since like 1 year now, and we've been getting a good response. So our approach to the clothing is very different, because to attain a circular economy like in the country. So first is we are targeting the root cause why people are overbuying it. So the root cause is basically fashionable products, be it in organic or be it in fast fashion. It's basically designer garments, or is it like it's like an embroidery, or various prints and everything. The problem is our focus is only on solids. Now, why solids? Because it is simple, elegant, and classy. You don't need to. Second point, you don't need to waste any time on choosing what clothing to wear for your everyday. Third thing is it promotes unity and equality. Supposing if you wear a suit, all right, and I wear a normal, if you see a Kachi person, he wears like a white and white, like in Rajasthan also they have this thing. When I see a person in suit, obviously in your mind a certain thing goes on. Okay, that inferiority complex comes in.
Halo
Okay,
effect.
how much? Yeah. So that way we are focusing only on, because this is the root cause of all the problems. So we are only focusing on solid. Third most important thing is when you're making solids, you use only minimum resources. If you do a printing, again, you're consuming natural resources. Again, you're doing it, whether chemical or natural dye, it doesn't matter. Fourth thing is it is very important for the recycling units which are coming up in the India. They're setting up the whole country in a recycle. For any recycling unit, it is very important. The process has to be simple. First thing, the fabric composition has to be like one or two. Like if it's because of the blends, it's very difficult. Second thing is if you have an embroidery or if you have a patchwork and everything, to remove that also, it is very difficult in India because still it's manual labor. Even the machineries cannot sort out. They have to do it physically. They have to cut it. When it's basically plain garments, it's easily recyclable. And when it goes to the landfills also, it's biodegradable as natural dye we are doing. So that is why we are focusing that people don't spend. And 365 days you can wear the solid clothing. Wherein if you wear a printed one or an embroidery one, after a few days you'll feel like, okay, you have worn this so many times. But it doesn't go in plain clothing, you never think about. And also you can reuse it after certain, once it fades away, you can reuse it in a nightwear. People are comfortable in using that. So this is our vision of clothing. And the farmers and weavers, one more reason for the supply chain, they get paid more. So when you weave a jacquard or when you weave a checks or when you weave any fabrics, the weavers gets the same amount per day, 250, 300 rupees per day get. But when they make the check designs or this thing, they can make only 3 to 4 meters. In solids weaving, they can make 5 to 6 meters. So they are earning more, but doing less. It's pretty easy for them, given the skill. It is getting lost in the country. It's very easy for them to do solids. Any of their family member can do the plain weave. So that's why we have carefully selected clothing, seeing all the benefits from the supply chain to the end consumers. So this is our take on the clothing sector.
It's great to see how you've kind of, very logically optimized your entire process and supply chain.
Yeah. Yeah, it's little bit. So that's where the challenge comes, because You have to educate people what is the purpose of clothing. So you have to go back to history. History always teaches us everything. If you see 28 states are there in India, majority of the states used to have the plain white and white garment. And some portions they used to do natural dyeing before through plants and through eco print and everything. That's only for occasions. But for a regular wear, they always used to wear white and white because they knew how much resources we will consume. They knew the water consumption. So they knew that if you make the designer garments, again, it will be like, again, we are using resources, it takes time. So it's all about simple clothing. So we call it as, we don't call it as sustainable clothing, we call it as simple clothing. You need to simplify your clothing. Right now, what you're wearing is also like a plain t-shirt inside the jacket.
Yeah, I'm usually wearing solids, not for the reason that you described, but that makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, so
But
that
to me,
reason
I
we have
think
to
I'm
basically, yeah, that reason we have to put it in people's, we have to plant a seed. Slowly, we have to plant a seed. That's why education
right.
is important.
Nice. And Goyen, you're currently involved in a project which is on compact yarn for khadi, and your vision, I believe, is manufacturing kids wear dyed with natural dyes. So, and you
Correct.
also have a project where you claim that banana fiber can be much, much more price competitive than cotton. So again, would love to hear on that
Correct.
as well. But so tell us more about these projects and how sustainable fashion you believe is a viable business proposition.
Yeah, Pratik, see, couple of things. A lot of people say uh, sustainability in textiles is getting a buzzword. It's not moving anywhere. Uh, I would like to differ from those people. A lot of talks are going on, yes, and a lot of people have taken initiative. Now, see, we have two persons sitting here talking about and doing things. They are walking the talk. It is not just an idea. So people are walking that talk. But many of those people, the talk which goes against this sustainable textiles, they say it is not economically viable. It's very costly. So this is the point which we want to address. If we want that sustainable textiles to take the center stage in the future, then we have to bring down the cost, which have to be available for everyone, as Neha just mentioned initially. So that is the aim. So two areas that we work. So as we said, we try to bring intelligence to make informed decision. At the same time, we also work with sustainable textiles projects and innovation associated with it. So one is that khadi is eternally a product of India, which is very sustainable. I would say the process of making the khadi is very much sustainable. So what we were doing in the past, which gone away due to the industrial revolution and the demand which has increased, is coming back again, and we want to improve that process. The reason being, the khadi fabric, always people complain that the quality is not good. The reason, the yarn, basic constituent of the fabric is the yarn and the fiber. Fiber is okay, it is available. So quality of yarn is not good, and therefore the fabric is not good. Therefore, the apparel is not good or not appealing. So we want to address that problem. So we found that compact yarn, everybody knows compact yarn is a much better quality yarn. And this has never been tried to produce in khadi because the technology which are available for making compact yarn use compressed air. So now mechanical compacting systems are available, and we are going to use this technology in the khadi. And we are working with institution where scientists are working. We are working and optimizing the process, and the trial will start possibly as soon as next week. So once that is done, we get the quality of yarn improved, we can do miracles. The whole khadi uh, concept of not good quality fabric will go away. And most of the khadi sector use yarns below 40 count, 40s count. So, I mean, we can address 80% of the market. This is one project. And once you have that, khadi compact yarn, you can always natural that those processes are available. We have partners who have been doing it, and it could be woven and it could be knitted. woven in handloom, knitted in pedal operated circular knitting machines. So you are not using any electrical power, which is the primary requirement of being called khadi. So if you are saying this is khadi, you cannot use electrical power. So we can knit it in a machine, circular knitting machine, using paddling. No paddling, like you're just cycling. That's it. So machine will prepare the fabric. And handloom already we have. And natural dyeing can be done, and the garmenting can be done in a regular way. So this is the whole project. So we are talking with a government body and also to a couple of startups. This could be a startup idea, having a whole chain which is completely khadi, which can be certified. A lot of people have doubt whether it is naturally dyed, whether it is really khadi, or is it worthwhile. So there will be a complete process of tracing, traceability will be there, and certified. So the people don't have doubt, consumers don't have doubt why buying it. So the story will be there. So this is one aspect that we are working. Obviously, it's going to take some time. We develop the technology, then we look for partners. We even look for entrepreneurs who can, take it forward as a startup. Then second thing, again, on the banana fiber that which we are talking. See, banana stem is a waste, and it's a huge amount of waste. And banana fiber can be extracted. That has been demonstrated by many people. And few technologies have been already commercialized. Okay, so this is a problem for the farmers. So, and this is a wastage. How you turn those wastage to useful products, and if it becomes a fiber, then definitely it's going to help the mankind. And a lot of people have done it. I'm not doing something new, but this is what we are working with. And banana fiber, which now you get in the market, raw banana fiber, you get it for 70 rupees a kilo. And out of that, you can extract around 60% as a fiber. And this extraction process can be a chemical process, can be an enzymatic process, or can be a process in between, which is mechanical and a little bit bio kind of a thing, bio enzymatic reaction, which can give you a beautiful fiber, which can run on the cotton system. Most of these alternative fibers have not been successful so far. Even be it hemp or linen, you need the different kind of processing machinery. And most of the textile producing machines are designed for cotton or polyester or viscose. So they are standard fibers. So our goal is to make fibers which will be as good as cotton and can be processed in a cotton system, so that you don't have to put a separate kind of a machine setup, no hardware to process it. And the reason I say this because this has been already achieved in laboratory scale, so can be scaled up in the future. And why I say it can be sold at the price of cotton, banana can be even cheaper, because this is already a waste. You just extract it, clean it, and sell it. So I'm damn sure. I mean, our costing as of now, what costing we have done, it can be sold around 150 to 160 rupees a kilo, which is possibly at par with clean cotton price. I mean, even lower than the clean cotton price. So these are the two projects that's very dear to me, but things are moving very slow. It's very early to say many things, claim many things, but yes, this is doable.
It's great to see how everybody in the panel is so logically driven. Like all of you, while you're explaining your respective ideas, there looks like a lot of logical reasoning there, optimization of the supply chain and the processes. I think it's fantastic. I think Kirshid had something to add on the economical viability of sustainable fashion.
So when I spoke about solids, right? So why we selected this is also one more important thing is to bring down the cost of the natural dyed garment. So in solids, the costings are very low, and sustainability, we are only targeting the niche market. Middle segment, the people who are earning from 30,000 to 1 lakh a month, even they can buy. Even a person who's earning 25,000 rupees per month, even he can afford if it is a solid garment. So our price points are basically like priced at like 900 rupees or something. That per t-shirt is priced at that. Organic cotton and natural dyed with the certifications. So in that way, I mean, like because of affordability and scalability, so that the production is also faster. When you do plain dyeing garments also, the
Yes.
production you can scale it up in a big way. And pricing also is one thing which is good.
Makes sense. Makes sense. No, thanks for adding that.
Yeah.
So I have a few common questions. Anyone can feel free to participate and answer. Let's start with the myths. There are many myths around natural dyes or sustainable fashion, and I think it's a long laundry list. It'll be great if the panelists can speak more on it and your take on it. Things like it's costlier, the color hardly lasts, just a niche product that brands want, maybe just for the narrative, maybe just for storytelling, this and that. They're not really serious about it. They're probably just trying to show their commitment to sustainability or adhere to certain ESG norms. So a lot of these myths about what people perceive of sustainable fashion. What are your individual takes on it? Maybe we can this time start with Goyal.
Yeah, the myth is yes, I mean, that's where we are working with how to reduce the cost in sustainable fashions. Uh, yes, as on date, the chains, the manufacturing chains are so fragmented. The managing the supply chain is very difficult. People are working in the various pockets. Somebody working on the fiber side, somebody working on the yarn spinning, somebody in the fabric, somebody in the garmenting, somebody in dyeing. So all those dots has to be joined. And since they are scattered, the cost of sustainable fashion is costly. And also because the volume is not there, it always, price depends on the volume. It is costly. But if we look at the whole supply chain, or maybe a garment 60% of the cost goes to the raw material. So if we can bring down the cost of available raw materials, say for example, hemp or even linen, it's very costly as of now. The fiber is costly. So how can you get apparel which is very affordable? So we have to work towards bringing down the cost. So we are working on those areas, and not only us, many people are working. And I do not say that only natural fiber is sustainable fiber. There are fibers like lyocell, which is very sustainable, and you can trace back where it is the raw material is being procured from. And the environmental load of producing lyocell fiber is much lower than the viscose process. Okay, so we can also look at some man-made synthetic. I mean, synthetic, yes, we have some bio component coming in, but it's still a long way to go. But man-made fibers, especially cellulose-based fibers, there are a lot of new innovations have come in, and those fibers are when they reach the economy of scale. Say lyocell has reached the economy of scale, so these fibers are very much cost-effective and fashion-friendly. The biggest point is fashion-friendly. And I believe that more important point here is the sustainable fashion communication has to go hand in hand. People have to be educated, about the extraction process, and exploitation and consumption, quality, care, and the equity. The consumers' equity in the whole chain has to be communicated to them. And we are in touch with UNEP, United Nations Environmental Program, and they are doing very good work. And we are trying to disseminate those informations which are globally available and locally available to people, to our readers, to consumers, so that everybody understands, so that our volume grows. The moment volume grows, the cost will come down. Say, for example, we have a report. So sustainable clothing market is going to touch around 9.8 billion by 2025 in India. So this is a sizable volume. But these are all in the research paper. We do not know what exactly would be, but yes, there are very good hopes, and it is growing at a double digit. So these are hopes. The people working in this area will definitely get some business, and they will be able to reduce the cost of the apparel in the near future.
Sure. Thank you so much, Goyal, for sharing your views. Neha, maybe if you can bust a few myths for us.
Yes, The first and the most common myth that we come across and we have to educate our customers is this long lasting? Will this last more washes? And the answer to this is very complicated, a yes and a no. So, yes, in terms of when they think about naturally dyed apparels, mostly they think that after 2 or 3 washes, the color will go away. But a very simple technique of taking care of the washing part, which is we tell them that wash it in a pH neutral detergent, which is there are many available in the market, and just don't dry it in sun. So this has to be followed for majorly all the clothing. We've been hearing our mothers do it, don't put your clothes and turn your clothes upside down. So these are the 2-3 things. If you follow them, then it will last at least easily 20-25 washes is what we tell them. Also, when the price point comes into mind, that I'm getting this brand is also selling, they are also sustainable brand, and they are selling this kurti for 599. Then we have to encounter the greenwashing also, wherein we'll have to tell them that not cotton per se is not sustainable. It's the process which is followed to make a fabric and to develop it in terms of garment is sustainable. So those are certain things that we have to educate them. So yeah, it is going to take time, but people are embracing it.
Right. So basically, you're saying friendly detergents, avoid direct sunlight, and turn your
Yes.
clothes inside out.
Inside out,
Which is
yes.
fairly a common practice for all your clothes. So it's
All
not
your
that you're
clothes.
having
In
to
fact,
do certain extra efforts for.
yes, and also avoid frequent washing when it is not required. You can just air dry it and get them ironed and put it back in your wardrobe if you've not worn it for a longer period of time. So you really do not have to wash all the garments that you have. It is not only for the naturally dyed garment, but for all the garments that you have. So
Which in
yeah,
turn
wash
also
only.
helps you save water and this and that, which is also great
Yes,
for the
because
environment.
detergents are like one of the most polluting agents that we use. So that is
Right.
also one of the things.
Sure. How about you, Kirthish? What is your take on this?
Yeah, see, for me, like whenever we talk about sustainability, like myths of sustainability, that is it expensive or will it fade and everything. First thing is, if you see clothing sector, like any brand you say, there are small small segments, like small price points, medium price point, high price points. Now, in sustainability, natural dyeing clothing, we get mixed up like with all the three things. So first we have to position ourselves in which category. If we can come under mid segment or the high segment. These are the two segments. The lower segment, we cannot do it because if we do it, then the farmers, the supply chain won't be getting the fair trade prices,
Right.
which is the huge problem, which recently I met the Commissioner of Textiles, Roop Rashmi madam. Even she questioned the H&M Public Affairs in the conference that what are you going to do about the low wages? So we have to differentiate our industry separately. It is different. So we have to educate. First is one thing. Second thing, the profitability has to reduce of the people who are manufacturing, because everybody used to export natural dye. This was the industry, like from past 15-20 years, people, because India was awareness was not there, so people were only into exports. The problem is the export industry or always high margin industry. So the same profitability they are making for the Indian market also, which is not fair. So because if a garment is priced at 1,000 rupees, if you see only 10% of that amount is going to farmers, to weavers, and to dyers. Only 100 rupees, and they have to divide among themselves. Whereas the major chunk of the profits, the manufacturer and the middlemen take up close to 300, 400 rupees. So I think they have to, for scalability, they have to reduce their profit. I'm not saying that very much. Keep your expenses low, because still it is small is beautiful. Still the industry is pretty small. If you try to overscale it too much, obviously you will have to have certain margins and everything. But start with local economy and reduce your margin by 10, 20 to 20% also. If you reduce, I think it will be a huge difference in terms of price points. I'll give you an example. We are selling hand spun, hand woven kurtis, like naturally dyed. We are selling at 1,500, 1,600 rupees in exhibitions. We are selling in 1,799, hand spun, hand woven, not handloom. pure khadi, we are selling at 1799. The same kurti in Fab India, it's sold for 3,500, 3,000. Other brands, no brand I've found that they are selling below 2,000. So the segment is pretty set. You have to price from 500 to 2,000, not more than that. And any polyester, if you see a lot of brands, Indian brands, Rare Rabbit or Diamonds, they are selling polyester t-shirts at 1,200, 1,400. So we don't have to compare about the product, like the pricing, like it has to be 500, 600. We are in this segment. We have to accept that we are in the mid segment and position ourselves in those segments only, not in the mass markets. Then otherwise, then it will be like very difficult to sell. So
Makes
this
sense.
is my
Makes
take.
sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, to what extent do you believe that customer education and customer awareness will play a very, very crucial role in driving the market potential of sustainable fashion?
Yeah.
Maybe we can
As-
start with Neha this time.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, customer education and awareness is a huge part of selling any sustainable product, because unless the customer understands that what is the benefit that the customer is reaping by buying this, is when they will buy. So if, like, breaking myths, like we talked about it, so we have to make the customer understand that you are buying something which is not only, good on the pocket, because we are selling products at a range where we can easily compare it with the other brands who are not sustainable in practices. So it is easier on their pocket, and it is very good for the environment also. They are not going to, in the end life, the product is not going to harm the environment also. So I think slowly and gradually, when the customers are becoming aware, because now the word sustainability is very closely attached to fashion. I don't think there is any brand in a broader perspective which is not trying to tap this term into their production in some way or the other. So customers are aware of the terms. It's just that we have to explain to them our level of authenticity.
Sure. These roundtables that we're doing it in association with Slow Textiles. And in the last roundtable, we discussed that while we were growing up, Microsoft vision was to have one computer in every home, right?
Yes.
If we can draw some reference from that and ensure that everyone's wardrobe has at least one pair of sustainable clothing, that itself will be a great, great impact on the environment. And that's where we can, see things moving from there.
Correct.
Sure. Kirtish, what is your take on this?
See, my take on the education part is, as Neha ji also said, it is very crucial. That's why one of the reasons we started courses was on that. But I don't only education. I don't do education only about clothing part, because to bond with the customer, you have to take care like what problems they are facing. How can they transit to a sustainability? So we do like something example in clothing. What we do is, one of the courses which we have is wardrobe auditing. So how to do a wardrobe audit, like this thing we have. One more thing which we have is how to wash it. So normally a person per family, they spend like 300 rupees per month for a cleaning liquid. So nowadays eco cleaning liquids also have popped up, like this thing. So it's 300 rupees. It comes in a plastic again containers. So what solution which we give is for consumer education to basically bond with them. What we tell them is we use in natural dyeing soap nets to wash our clothing and everything. Like that's the process of the when you want to dye the fabric, you have to use soap nets for washing. So we tell them soap nets cost only 600 rupees for 3 kilos. So per year you can use that. 600 rupees is more than enough. They save close to 3,000 rupees per year, the consumer. So this is how we explain the Gen Z to make the change in their homes. So education is very important, and through courses only you can do, or through your social media also you have to explain. Because if you, it's not about push strategy. You have to basically pull them towards you. If you try to force it, because a lot of content is being consumed by this thing, they get confused. So instead you just highlight the facts. Okay, this would save you money, and you do this. By doing this, you'll save this much money. At the same time, you'll not pollute the water. So it's been like 4 years since we are using soap nets for our own. It doesn't make a difference at all. It's actually garments are much beautiful in that. So education is one thing. Yes, you have to do. So to like education also you have to segregate between offline education, online education. Right now we are into digital world. So what kind of online strategies you would have, what kind of offline strategies you have. And it starts. So if you're staying in Ahmedabad, first thing you have to worry about is Ahmedabad customers, not people who are like you, because nobody would bother in Ahmedabad if I tell you that ice is melting in Antarctica. They will not bond. If I tell you कि अहमदाबाद में गर्मी बढ़ चुकी है, अहमदाबाद में pollution, second largest polluted city in India is Ahmedabad now. The PPI, like the pollution AQI, is basically this much, and a lot of industries are coming in. So you have to take local topics, connect with them, bond with them, and then slowly get onto your product. If you first push your product only, and then education will take a backstep, then they will not buy. They'll be buy. So I have like return percent of close to like return customers of close to 40%, and it's just been 8 months since we started. They are buying again and again with me, and I don't have to invest my money again on online advertising.
Right.
So because through education we do such things.
Okay. That's great. That's great. Goyal, your take?
Yeah, Kirthish is doing a wonderful job. It is possibly, you can make few small videos and we can share them to
Yeah.
our platforms because, see, I mean, yes, I already spoke about sustainable fashion communication. For a word बहुत hard है, you have to talk in the local language. जो आप बता रहे हैं, I think this you have touched a very, very important point, making the consumer aware. But in our language, in the press language, we have to be polished, so we say sustainable fashion communication.
Yeah.
So it is nothing but what you are doing. Okay.
Yes.
So, just again, when coming back to the whole thing, people have to understand where they are basically harming the environment. One aspect, the life cycle of the fabric, washing is one of the area where it uses most amount of water and the washing chemicals. So what we have proposed, one of the client that we have worked with, why people wash clothes, so we did a study. So it's basically the Indian condition, perspiration. And because of the perspiration, you develop a lot of odor. So odor control, if you can do the odor control, kapra ganda nahi hota itna jaldi, it doesn't get dirty. But you do it because it gives you odor and it's stinking, right? So we say to have natural antimicrobial finishes. Neem is one of the most popularly available product here. So you can wash your garment with neem, or maybe you can use some neem oil. So
Yes.
that can work miracles. That can increase the washability, washing cycle. You don't wash it everywhere. No, you can delay it by wearing 2-3 times. So that is a possibility. And also, just coming back to one of the points where we have discussed that uh, dye fastness, color fastness of the naturally dyed garments. It is not that bad. There are processes who can give you washing fastness, perspiration fastness, light fastness 3+, which is commercially acceptable.
Yeah.
But the dye which has to be used in a different form, in a vat form. So that then you get 3+ fastness in washing or even rubbing fastness. Mostly what we need, perspiration fastness, rubbing fastness, light fastness, and washing fastness. These are 4 fastness which we encounter on everyday basis on the apparel that we wear. So there is a solution. Even with natural dyes, you can get color fastness of 3+, even 4+ in some cases. But the limitation with natural dyes is we do not have that many varieties of shades. So this is one limitation because today people want different color shades for different purposes, where shades are a bit limited, which is a bit crippling. But there are some other sources of dyes as well, not only natural, other sources of dyes as well, which are much more sustainable than the existing colors available in the market. Okay, so sustainable doesn't mean that you have to have zero effect or zero impact on the environment. it has to be better than what we are doing today.
Yeah.
Tomorrow will evolve even further. So I think this is one of the approach that we can adopt to be sustainable, one step
Sure.
at a time, not addressing the whole thing together.
Right. So let's say someone wanting to start, let's say a fashion brand uh, with sustainability, but not from a social enterprise perspective. Of course, being environmental conscious and hence adopting sustainable fashion, but wanting to make a lot of profit. So, what economic benefits do you think, a new age brand can reap by embracing sustainable practices? And if we've seen any, or if we can name any example of any brand who has done it anywhere in the world, right, where they have successfully done this and they're running things profitably, it would be great if you can share a few examples or case studies or references. Anyone who would like to answer this one?
Okay.
Sorry.
Yes, maybe Neha, you can go first.
Yes. So I know of this brand called Crow. It started the same year that I started, 2013, and they have been using color cotton. And I see this brand becoming a global brand from just participating into flea markets. So I've seen it growing. There are brands like Soham Dave, and there are other brands who are Okhai is also one such brand.
Yes, I think Oka is
Yes,
doing good work.
yes, they're doing good work with a social impact as well. So these are certain examples of the brands which are there already doing a global business, making profits out of sustainable practices.
Right. Kirtish, you had something to say?
Yeah. See, economic, you spoke about economic benefits. In sustainability, the whole world is moving to sustainable, not only for economic benefits. There should be a new business model. It's a new business model. So social economics should be there because you have to pay your supply chain proper wages. Second thing is economic benefits for the brand. Like whoever is into business, they have to make money also. Otherwise, there's no point doing it. Third is environmental benefits also should be there. So these three things, if it is there in a brand, they have to first. Natural dyeing is a huge segment. Clothing, it's a huge segment. So what I feel is when I started 6 categories, I started because in India there is no brand which in my research which came which is doing a complete natural dyeing range. So I wanted to try a range. So we launched 5 to 6 categories. Now after launching this, I got to know just to test the waters what works in the Indian market. So the 2 or 3 categories is doing well. Out of that, for newcomers, I would suggest is just focus on 1 or 2 categories, not more. Because if you focus on multiple categories, then you will not be able to sell. Somewhere stock will be issue. Somewhere the money would be pumped up in this thing, and your resources also, your planning also will be diverse. So right now it's the market of niche markets. So if you're doing like t-shirts, only do t-shirts. Maybe you can diversify into women's or men's. That's thing. Because it's a huge market and it will be very easy for you to market and you'll be known for that brand. So this is a very good experience. And right now, because one brand can become huge. So you don't have to worry about, okay, where to sell the kurtis, where to sell the menswear, where to sell the undergarments. If you're doing undergarments, only undergarments is more than enough to make decent money. To understand, you will be known for this under brand. If anybody comes to know, okay, natural under dye garments, okay, this is the brand. So you will be known for
Sure.
that.
So you're saying pick one product line, just focus on that and
Yes, you have to break it because that's how technical textiles also what they have done is technical textiles is the new term for man-made fiber. What they have done is they have divided into 13 different segments. Agro textiles, geotextiles, different segments are there.
right.
So in any one category, if the country also picks up, this is going to become a huge billion-dollar industry. That's what the government is also saying. Because you don't have enough resources to do all the things. Right now, my undergarments are doing very well. So if I focus and the story is good, if I focus only on the undergarments, it's more than enough. I could
Right.
I could streamline the categories. I could go offline, online, separate thing. So my mind also will not be very cluttered with too many categories in my mind. So we have
Makes
identified
sense.
three categories which are doing good. The one of the brands which I like is Patagonia is there. I don't know. It's I've not
I
come
was
across
just
it.
going to ask if Patagonia, if it's fair to say it's a sustainable brand, then
Yeah,
they've done some great work. I'm just looking at, some of their numbers while as we
yeah,
were speaking.
yeah,
Uh, it seems that, and this is a report of April this year, so April 23,
yeah,
their sales, and they only do outdoor clothing, right? So outdoor
yeah,
clothing category, their sales is about $1 billion, which is about close to 8,000 crore,
yeah,
which is a great number. Revenue about $100 million, so about 800 crore, and the brand is supposedly worth around $3 billion, so close to
yeah,
20
yeah.
25,000 crore. So it looks like the market is there because there's one brand that we can refer to who's been able to generate good amount of sales,
This one.
revenue, profitable, and a
Yeah.
good brand value too.
See, one more thing I would like to add is like nobody is focusing on the Indian market properly in a strategic way, like how Patagonia has done it in Europe and everything. See, because any dye you do, you need water, you need groundwater, even in natural dye also. So the same amount of water in natural dye also. So there's a myth about cotton that it is water intensive. That's the Western myth which has come in. Because 65% of our cotton which is grown in India is rain fed. It is an agricultural product. Why don't we see it as an agricultural product? Just to promote the concept of man-made fibers, they have put in that water is like water into cotton is water intensive, but it is not because 65% is rain fed most of the thing. So plus any dye you use, right? Why do you want to export the product? So you could also look at all the brands world over. Brands are coming into the Indian market. The Western market has been saturated. So now why cannot we create a brand in India itself? Because 2,500 liters of water, even natural dye consumes. Though the water, like, and it's not rain fed, they pump it from the ground only. So that's why khadi is one of the segment which is wonderful. It basically
Bhujan is
everything
suddenly
in 100
smiling more.
kilometers, everything in 100 kilometers you can do it. You don't need to go anywhere. This is the see nobody has researched on khadi. If you do it in a proper way, I think it's a huge field. And no fabric. See, where do we have a technology? Once you weave it again, you can go back to the thread. In mill you cannot do it. Once you weave the fabric to a fabric from threads to this thing, only khadi can unweave it again. So this is the technology which is far more advanced. I don't know how we came up with that technology in India, but you need to make khadi mainstream because it's seen as people who are very aged, people who are very like it's like it is not promoted as a fashion product. So for that you have to make collections. So, like I said, like khadi, if you try to make it accessible to the next generations according to their needs, see, we cannot eliminate fashion at all. Only thing is we can replace it with natural fibers, what khadi is doing or natural dyeing do it with a simplified style, and people are accepting it. Now they like see if you see Mark Zuckerberg, even he wears a plain t-shirt. If you see Elon Musk, all their clothing is simple. So khadi you have to make little bit fashionable. Maybe eco prints is wonderful. Then plain weaves in khadi like round neck, because right now it is pretty old and it's not looking. It is not attractive for the consumers to buy. So if you can make that, and if you can make in India and consume in India, so because our water is getting exported. So earlier, if you see Indian history clothing, right, we used to export 60% of the clothing was exported from India, and more than 45% was basically sorry, more than 45% was only Kora fabric we used to export. So right now also, even they have the water to dye. Even the European countries have plenty of water. American countries have water, but they are not using it for dyeing. Just because it is cheap in India, they do it. At the same time, the pollution, the groundwater scarcity we are facing. 22 cities are going to run out of water in India in by 2025. And already you can see some pockets have very deep water, some pockets doesn't have. So it's all because of the textile this thing. If you see, Jaipur consumes 4 liters of groundwater every day. And when you do ETP recycling also, it is only 50% goes into evaporation. So ETP also is not solving. According to Harvard study, we made 6 billion garments in India in 2019. The world population is 7 billion. How are we going to be sustainable if we only export, export, export? Domestic consumption, if we increase, if we have homegrown brands, it will be improve. Government's GST collection will improve. Your money will stay here. Everybody is focusing only on domestic. Even China is doing it. So we need to encourage people, more people to start homegrown brands, and they can make good money. If you sell at 3,000 rupees also, if you sell 500 pieces in Gujarat also, you make 15 lakh rupees of sale. So it's like the export. I think it's good. Export, you cannot stop it, but you can at least reduce it. That's what my take is.
I think that was a great one. Some great facts, some great figures and
Yeah.
data there.
Yeah.
So I have a fun question now. If let's say sustainable fashion were to be a hero, what would its superpowers be, and how would it save the world of, let's say, fashion from its less eco-friendly counterparts?
I would like cities to make some fabric, eco-friendly fabric, which vanishes me in front of the lady back at home, like Mr. India.
Okay. Sure.
So I would like some superhero to be there, wherein anytime the brand is trying to greenwash their product as sustainable, I should come there with a danger sign and should just inform the people that the consumer that you're getting trapped here.
Yeah.
Nice, nice.
My superpower, I think, like superhero, which I always admire, is basically superhero of compassion. So that's the key to living a purposeful life, and that's why I'm there in this industry of sustainability. It's basically like when you care about all the living beings in the earth, not only human beings but everybody, at some, like, your soul also comes in. So karuna, empathy and compassion is the key towards changing people's lifestyle, and that's the superhero which I want, because that's what I see lacking in today's world.
Great, great. Okay, maybe if we can have a concluding remark from all of you one by one. So anything you'd like to add or conclude with?
Sure. Can I say
Sure,
something?
Neha. Yes.
So continuing to what the discussion was with khadi. So we have to make khadi desirable for the younger generation to make. So I think the problem lies in the design aspect. So when we can make modern contemporary garments using our ancient fabrics is when you tap the new generation, when you make it look fashionable. And also when people generally tend to follow fashion, seeing the influencers and the celebrities on Instagram and also on other social media platforms. So I think there is some sort of responsibility on their shoulders as well, wherein the mainstream designers can look into this and maybe design something and make people who who set the trend in the market, wear it is going to make a huge difference.
So basically, it needs to be cool. It needs to be in trend.
Yes, it has to be. So, that's what we do in our brand. So we make modern contemporary outfits for people who want to wear them, not only, in the puja, kurta, not essentially a kurta or maybe just a shirt or something. But if they want to wear a mini dress, if they want to wear a bralette, if they want to wear a crop top, then you have an option in khadi and a naturally dyed garment as well.
And we've seen this playing out in so many industries now. Look at skincare products, right? Today, all your skincare products are what it used to be, say, 50, 100 years back before industrialization, right? Parabens free, silicone free, this and that.
Yes.
Right? Look at the food we eat. A lot of these old recipes and old foods are coming back. Why not with fashion,
Yes.
right? Goyan, you have any concluding remarks?
Yeah, agree. Absolutely, because khadi has a great future. I would see that, and I see that coming again, and I see that our Prime Minister is already promoting it, and all those mufflers and gamchas are very famous nowadays. But I would recommend, people are thinking that, khadi means, okay, make the fabric in khadi. Go for digital printing. You can make any damn design in digital printing for a small lot. It will be little bit costly, but it takes you the whole pain of dyeing, and pollution is very, very less if you compare to dyeing and finishing. Just go for digital printing. It helps you a lot. And we have worked with one lady in Northeast India where dyeing facility, is not possible. And she has gone for a digital printing facility in Manipur, and she is making amazing fabrics. Believe me, they are very good fashionable fabrics. So sustainability doesn't mean that you have to go for just only khadi. Make the fabric in khadi and do it, dye it to the people's choices, colors or shades in printing. You can generate any kind of printing, any color shade in printing, or any types of motifs, anything you can do it in printing. And even for even single piece of apparel. So that can be explored.
Right. Sure. Kirtish, how about you?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for conducting this podcast, and it's been amazing meeting Goenji, Nehaji, to interact, and you also. So it's a good platform, and more such platforms, if it comes, it will be helpful for our brands also, at the same time for awareness also. So first thing is, as I said, holistic approach is needed in mindful consumption, and focusing on the bottom chain is necessary, because otherwise there's no point in being sustainable. So because this is what sustainable industry like United Development Goals or anybody's talking about, eliminate poverty and everything, because slowly then we will not have anybody to make our dyeing or eco print. We will not have any labors because the portion is too small. So this is one thing. And yeah, I think you right now we are also we recently I had a meeting with Ministry of Textiles. So our country for the first time, I think it's been a year, we have a separate department called Sustainable Textiles. So I had been interacting with them for 1 month. They came to our office and we had a chat. Now I recently been to Delhi. We interacted. Now they are serious about including like sustainable textiles. Also, they are dividing into various categories. So I represented the Natural Dyeing Association, because there is no association. It's a 6,000-year-old industry, and it's so sad that it
No
was the mainstream
representation.
ones. No association. So then I just bringing everybody together. Then I told like it has to be separate association, like how Industrial Textile Association is there, Khadi is there, like that. So the first thing of forming an association is you have to have an association. Then to implement the policies in the textile ministry, you need to have an advisory board first, a committee. Once the committee is set up, then you can have your problems like, okay, what you want, what you're facing, maybe education, the GI tag of natural dyeing, or the pollution control board issues. Like right now, all the textiles are under red category. So then the below category is orange and then green. So ours could be in green, provided if we have a channelized, like how to monitor. Because how do we know that whether people are doing natural dyeing or not? So for that, there is an online monitoring of water levels. You can measure and everything. It's in software, which government can also have a control. So once the advisory committee, they have asked me to send a proposal, which we have already shared yesterday. So hopefully, maybe if the election doesn't comes in between 2024, otherwise it will get delayed. But yes, I think it's positive way. One more thing we forgot in the meeting is circular economy.
Sure.
So circular economy, right now, the new EU Green Deal has come up. So this is nothing but extended producer responsibility. There are three things to it in this. One is basically it has to be durable. Any garment has to be it's not only about garment, but for textiles, it has to be durable, it has to be repairable, and it has to be environment friendly. So our natural dyeing clothing or anything which is biodegradable, sustainable, even I think linen would come in, wool would come in, hemp would be there, bamboo also would be there. So these all are comes under these three categories. And by 2050, it is going to be like nobody can, by 2030, nobody can export if they don't meet these three criteria. So the cotton, it is right now less because of man-made fabric. Again, it's going to come up in the chain of clothing. And and the rule is EU has to recycle their own garments. They don't have to export anywhere. That's mandatory for them. In India, Fashion for Good is trying to, the foreign companies are coming in, segregating the data, how we can, set up the whole recycling. So what my interaction with those Netherlands-based team is, we need to have mini recycling centers. So the government is very strict, and they've already decided, like dry waste and wet waste in our home, there would be one more dustbin, which would have textile solid waste. So textile waste also there would be a separate bin, and they are very serious about this thing. And in our natural dyeing industry, in sustainability, none of us, I think I can speak for other brands also if I'm not wrong, none of us has any clue about where the garment is ending after post-consumption. This is so first we need to understand as brands how we can do it. So there are like a couple of ways. One is digital product passport code is there. So DPP. So they give a barcode. Then while shipping every product, you can ship that barcode to the consumers, tell them to scan it. It will have your manufacturer information, where the yarn is sourced or where the garment is made, where it is dyed, and your brand information. Then the second thing is, once the consumer buys, they have two options. After a usage of maybe 1 year, you use it. After that, you have two options. One is either you can give it to upcycling or you can give it for recycling. So in upcycling, companies have a platform, you can sell it in upcycling. So 100 rupees, 150 rupees, they can sell it if they are interested. But if they don't want to take that, that fuzz about selling it and everything, they can recycling it. So for recycling, all they have to do is just click the button. Some company would come in, courier company would come in, they will pick up and drop into the recycling center, which already has this setup of recycling the garment. So I think all of us have to be on board in this. Any brand, new brand, it's always good that when you're new, you can implement this process. It will be easy for you to follow it up. This thing is mandatory. If we don't do it, then again, in our own traceability is not there, then it will be very difficult for us. So we need to educate brands also who are into this space to start talking about circularity. This is what circularity is. The garment ending in landfill, it should not end in landfill. It should go to the recycling centers. So every product we sell, we have to educate. So maybe we have to buy back that product, or maybe give them some benefits. Okay, we'll give you 100 rupees discount in the next order. Something like that, which encourages them to give it back. Pre-consumption waste also, when we stitch it, that waste also is there. So even I have not followed it myself in last production, because I've come to learn this about now. It's just been 3-6 months since I've learned all these things because of my education courses. But next time when I'm doing a production, whatever the waste is generated, I have to collect it from it's very easy process. Like maybe 4 or 5 bags would be there. You have to collect the waste. All you have to do is just ship it to the company who is doing the recycling, and just document that. You can use it for your social media. You can use it for your promotions. And anybody needs any recommendation also, we have companies for digital product passport code. So homegrown companies. See what the problem is. Now all the technologies, again, Western companies are coming in. They are educating it, doing patent, and then all their life they'll be enjoying the royalty. Whereas if we do it, if we solve our own problems, if somebody picks up, it's a huge industry. Recycling industry also, it's a huge industry. Anybody can start a recycling unit. There's no unit of recycling in textile in my local city. Like I stay from Tirupur, right, textile hub of India, where all the t-shirts are made and everything. I come from there. Hardly there's no recycling unit in my city proper where I know that we can give it. So this is one whole thing which we need to look after in circular economy. I think we have a lot more to do than just sell the garments.
No, but that's a great one, and thank you for adding the component of circular economy also there.
Yeah.
I think great session overall. I learned a lot, and hopefully everyone who would and who watch this would also get like really good, meaningful insights from this one. Thank you everyone for doing this, for sharing your wisdom, your insights. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so
Kirthish.
much.